I know that if we can do this in Trenton, New Jersey, maybe the folks in Washington, D.C. should tune in their TVs right now, see how it's done. And I come out here today to apologize to the people of New Jersey.
What a difference a couple months can make here. That was back in November, where Christie was pointing to his job in New Jersey as a national example, a sterling one, and making a case for why he should become president. Yesterday, he was certainly, as we all saw, apologizing for the job that he'd done in Jersey, and the questions are now erupting. Will this stop him from becoming president? And it's funny, some of the critics, if they think it's all coming from Democratic circles, it's not like Republicans are rallying around the candidate.
He's getting it from all sides at this point, Rich. Obviously still way too early to see what the national impact of this bridge scandal will be, but the right-leaning Rasmussen already has a sense that the scandal's hurting Christie in the Garden State. His favorability rating's down 8 points since October, that new poll conducted yesterday. But the governor is taking a beating in the media right now. Governor featured on the cover of The New Yorker, portrayed as a kid blocking traffic on the bridge, playing a child's game and bouncing a ball, holding everybody up. That doesn't help. The Daily News on Thursday, their front cover, fat chance now, Chris. And that's not the only newspaper asking questions. GWB bombshell dents Christie's 2016 hopes. That came from the New York Star Ledger. And if you're a politician and you've got a local paper asking, do you believe him? That doesn't help either. Now to the factor that Rich was talking about, to consider. Every politician has enemies and everyone has opponents. Both will now be teeing off on Christie. Some calling Christie a diva getting what he deserves. Former Giuliani advisor, quote, "You're going to see conservatives returning the favor he gave them over the last year." First batter, Kentucky Senator and frequent Christie foil, Rand Paul. Asked about the allegations, Paul told reporters that when he's stuck in traffic jams, quote, "I know how angry I am, always wondering who did this to me." And Glenn Beck, who thinks that Christie is not conservative enough, has called the scandal fat and furious, declaring Thursday that conservatives need to run from Christie. Beck said the only good news to come from the fallout is that, quote, "this just ended his political career for president." Rich?
Again, that's Glenn Beck, but okay. Let's bring in our newest guest, Evan Thies, founder of Brooklyn Strategies and a former aide to Andrew Cuomo and a former staffer as well to Hillary Clinton. Okay. Play crisis management right now. I think we'll agree did pretty good yesterday. A little self-serving at times, but that's on the edges. A lot of other guys have done worse when the Klieg lights are on in the first chapter of a scandal. What does he have to do now?
Well, the first thing any good crisis manager would tell you is to tell the truth all at once, get it all out there. There can't be any landmines coming up down the road.
Was he so definitive, though, that this is it, period? There's nothing that comes back to me. This is the exception, not the norm here. This was them, not me. That now if there's anything that points to him, he looks like a liar.
Yes. Look, the actual act was pretty heinous. Whether or not he had anything to do with it, it sounds like, according to him, he didn't. But if it turned out he did, people will be more upset that he lied than that he had something to do with it.
What if it turns out more staffers were involved than the ones that he identified yesterday? Does that come back on him too?
If this keeps piling up to the point where it seems impossible that he knew what was going on, or he would have had to been so incompetent as governor that he let this go in some way just from willful ignorance,
then he's in trouble. Because he was the guy, he goes, the buck stops with me, I cut through the tape, I'm the guy, I'm the decider. Yesterday he's like, well, I delegate this stuff. How can you look at me for it? Look at her, it's her fault, it's his fault. I feel hurt, they lied to me. He wants it both ways.
That's right. And that does hurt that image. And he had that national image, and it was a fantastic thing to run for president on. So now he has to start over a little bit with his own people in New Jersey and then the American public in general, and building that back up. But listen, if nothing else directly links him to this, and that's a big if because we have a while to go, he has a year to reposition himself, rebrand himself, fix this problem, because as soon as the midterms are over, people are going to start running.
Next year, all the people who've been lying low because they don't want to cross Christie, right? A guy with an approval rating in a blue state for a Republican unprecedented in this country. Now, it's Mardi Gras time.
Look, it's a lot of work he has to do now, but let me just say, he is a once-in-a-generation political talent. He really is. And
see, I'm not the only one
people are willing to forgive. People like a comeback in the United States. They don't like being lied to. So as long as he has admitted everything And I'm a Democrat. I should be piling on him while he's still breathing right now. But I'm telling you, if it turns out this is really the end of the show for this, and maybe his friend, the new speaker in the legislature, doesn't continue the subpoena power of this committee, and maybe this does stop here, then he might be okay. Does that seem likely? Probably not.
The best thing Christie has going in his favor right now, Richard, is that it's Friday. And so for the news cycle, even though it's not going to stop for this story, it will slow down. If this had broke earlier...
You know better than anybody at this table, Dominic. A lot of people have felt that Christie has gotten a pass for 4 years from guys like us.
No doubt about it.
Okay, you guys always tell me that I always pucker up with Christie.
A big white kiss.
So my only point is, what happens when media gets that? The first chance that they can go after somebody, they overdo it. Everybody. You know what's going on in press rooms right now. You, and you, all of you. You're doing nothing but Christie patrol. You're going through all the documents. You're finding all the contributors. You're seeing who did what, who paid a price. Hey, we know the Atlantic City mayor hates him. Call him. Call the Patterson mayor. Go through the list. That's what's happening everywhere right now because you know.
But his biggest problem, his former deputy chief of staff, who was so loyal to him, by tonight is probably going to lawyer up, and what she knows could end the Chris Christie that we know.
That's going to be interesting to see what she does. The other thing is with the public, you can be a bully, you can be a liar. I think you expect a little bit of both in politics, but to be both at the same time.
Here's a media question.
We've been wondering when Christie's tipping point was going to come.
Here's the immediate question. He already said he's going to be doing the town halls. We heard that one yesterday. Would you guys recommend to Christie that his unique style of dealing with people, which is to always challenge, to almost look for a fight, if he goes the other way right now, he runs the risk of looking like a phony. But if he keeps playing that card, everyone's going to be looking for the first instance of bully. Is he who his real character is, or does he try and tone it down and be Christie-like?
I would not recommend it with the vast majority of elected officials, but I got to tell you, this guy is good. He is so good in public. And yes, he's had these big blow-ups, but it only increased his visibility. Somehow he got through that totally unscathed.
But that was before he screwed people in the GW and the people of Fort Lee. Now all of a sudden...
Absolutely right. No, it's hard to get out of.
You're leaving out of the conversation the opportunity this provides to the opponents to organize. Now they have something to organize. Have him have these little town halls, and you'll see 300 union people who were scared out of their minds to challenge him before because he was such a bully. Now they're going to get their act together. Now there's a real opportunity to organize against the guy. He had his opponents. You said that. Everyone was shut up into silence because he's such a good politician. Yeah. Now the moment comes. Yeah. If I were an organizer in New Jersey, a Democratic organizer, this
the only thing I'll say, Assemblywoman, is I have been there where he's been in front of firefighters. This was early in his administration, where he said to all of them, and they were loaded for bear, I'm not giving you your raises. I'm not even, if it's up to me, I wouldn't even recognize your union contracts. I expect there to be a riot in there, and he wouldn't make it out alive. By the end, they were giving him a standing O. There is this thing, whether these guys think I'm full of it or not, where he comes off with this authenticity where I don't know somebody else.
Richard, let him try that now and see if he gets the same response.
I'm not sure if he can't still sell it.
He cannot do that now.
It's like Mayor Curley getting elected from jail. I mean, like it is that level of skill. And I agree with you that now is the time for his opponents, especially the teachers union, who owes him big.
All right.
Should start going after him. But I'll say that it's very hard for them institutionally get over this hump that they're in. They got embarrassed in the last election. And also, this government that's governing New Jersey right now in a blue state is really something that Christie cobbled together. It is his speaker. It is his legislature now.
Okay, when we come back, we're going to switch gears to across the state, across the Hudson, because what we saw happen in Albany this week, I'm very curious your perspective as to who is Andrew Cuomo, and will he get his agenda through? And Bill de Blasio, how are him and the governor going to get along and coexist? We'll get into that right after this.